are no bad guys, just disturbed guys.
National college baseball writer for CSTV, Eric Sorensen.
Speaking of, this is like Christmas Day for me, by the way.
LSU wins it!
All right, just watch out if they show up with those Easton bats at your doorstep.
Cinderella wins the national championship!
He's Eric Sorensen. He knows everything.
The biggest fan of the sport you'll ever find.
Hey Stitchheads, how you doing? Eric Sorensen here from College Baseball Today. Welcome to another From the Cave, this time doing it on Tuesday night. Just kind of had a few things to do last night, and I'm thinking about maybe doing it on Tuesday night from now on. I don't know. I don't think it's kind of here nor there, but nonetheless, good to be back. Welcome back into the cave. Let me start off with this. First off, I am now officially on Twitter and Facebook. If you go to Twitter and you go under and you look under Stitch_head, you'll find me, and under Facebook it's under College Baseball Today. Now the Twitter thing will probably be, it's going to probably be very similar to like the Twitters that you guys might have already signed up for Jeremy Mills, the D1Baseball.com guru, maybe like Kendall Rogers or Aaron Fitt or Mark Etheridge. They all have Twitter accounts too. Mine will probably be a lot of the same information, only it'll probably be funnier and more entertaining. So please sign up. And as far as Facebook goes, if I get 1 million Facebook followers on the College Baseball Today site, I'm going to mail each and every one of you a crisp new dollar bill. So that's my promise. So go ahead and join up. But I'd like to also start tonight. Let me give a little shout out to the sports information directors across the country. Vastly underappreciated. They work hard and they get paid a mere pittance, which of course means they make a little bit more money than I do. But nonetheless, I know I bagged on the SIDs across the country a little bit when I only got 130 responses to my preseason questionnaire out of 301. But to be honest with you, a lot of them do a lot of hard work and they make everything a lot better for the sport of college baseball, and I appreciate what they do. Oh, also tonight, for the first time, we actually have a sponsor for our baldcast From the Cave. Tonight's sponsor is McDonald's for cheap food that is questionable for human consumption and sure to clog your arteries. It's McDonald's. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm loving it. Okay, anyway, enough of that stuff. Okay. I am officially now a poll voter. I'm actually a voting member of the National College Baseball Writers of America's weekly poll. I know. I'm not real happy about it. Well, okay, I'm sort of happy about it. I just, you guys know my feelings about rankings. There's like 10 of them out there now. We don't need them all. Just go to Boyd Nation's ISR ratings, and that's all you really need. But And also, I believe in polls more than I do rankings, because rankings, there's a lot of rankings out there where it's just one or two guys making up their own minds on what the top 25 should be. At least I'm involved in a poll, and I'm glad about that. And I was very honored to be approached by the National College Baseball Writers of America to be part of it. Just wanted to say I'm not going to be your regular poll voter. In fact, I decided I'm probably not going to make public my top 25 because I don't want to hear you guys bitching about me leaving your team out or something like that. But nonetheless, I'm a little bit different when it comes to voting for a poll, and that is because, you see the rankings that are out right now. I'm going to treat each team as nameless and as faceless as I can when it comes to the rankings. For instance, if Team A goes on the road and beats Cal State Fullerton 2 out of 3 times, I'm probably going to put that team above Team B, which stayed at home and struggled against Centenario West or William and Mary. So you get my drift here. It probably surprised the guys at the NCDWA when I sent in my ranking, and I had TCU way up high, which I was very impressed with TCU. And my alma mater, LSU, I had them rated kind of low because they haven't really shown me much yet, and they haven't really played anybody yet, and they've struggled when they've at times against Centenary and William and Mary. So that's kind of my mindset. I think it's kind of ludicrous to see teams ranked so high when they haven't played anybody. I'm not going to project and say this is who I think will win the national title and all that kind of stuff. So just wanted to throw that out there to you guys. Another thing, let's congratulate the Kings of the Carolinas, East Carolina and Coastal Carolina. East Carolina won 2 of 3 from South Carolina this weekend, and Coastal went out and beat number 4 ranked UC Irvine twice this weekend as well. I think you've kind of seen a changing of the guard when it comes to the Tar Heel State. North Carolina might be down a little this year. You saw that when they struggled against Maine. So I think, to be honest with you, East Carolina and Coastal Carolina, I predict one of them will make it to Omaha this year, and both of them have a good shot at being number 1 seeds in the postseason. We'll see how it goes. Coastal Carolina has a little bit easier of a schedule. I say easier, I mean their conference, the Big South, is not as strong, so they've got a little bit more work to do, unfortunately. But I think they proved they're a good team this week, beating UCI twice, beating NC State as well. So good job for those guys. Also, keep in mind when you talk about teams and their abilities to get to Omaha this year, I think there's one thing that we have to keep in mind as far as teams that kind of just made it just short of Omaha last year. TCU, which we talked about, ECU, we just talked about, also Florida State and Louisville. Those 4 teams I think you have to keep an eye on because they're going to be, failure is a great motivator, and they just came up short of Omaha last year. I think that'll help give them some incentive to really kick some ass and try to get to the big dance, or rather to the mecca of college baseball, which is Rosenblatt. So we'll see how they do as the year goes on. As far as this weekend coming up, it should be a great weekend. I mean, you have the Astros Classic in Houston, which will be interesting. You have the surprise tournament in Arizona, where Arizona State will finally play somebody with a pulse. And Florida International is part of that as well. Florida International did a great job of sweeping a good Oral Roberts team last week. So we'll see how that goes. But I think the biggest storyline coming up for this weekend is, I get a lot of emails and a lot of questions about teams in the bigger name conferences and their scheduling practices. I don't like how they schedule. I think it's kind of crap. But this weekend in particular, you're going to see that very interesting. The SEC is going to have 7 teams that go on the road this weekend, which you don't see a lot of, but you got Alabama going to a mid-major. Arkansas is going to be playing up at Cal, and I think, we see how some of these teams do out on the West Coast. A little bit tough. Vanderbilt had a little bit of a tough time. UCLA and playing out at Arizona State in the regionals 2 years ago. Florida, the 2 big series, Florida at Miami, which will be huge. I wish I could get on a jet and get there now. And also Georgia at Florida State. It should be another great weekend. Also, check out Ole Miss going to Tulane. Keep an eye on that. Tulane's probably not that strong this year, but Ole Miss has really struggled, I think, and is probably they're gonna really have to raise their game to beat Tulane on the road there at Turchin Stadium. Kentucky comes out to San Diego and San Diego State. Very interesting. They've done well without James Paxton. That's a great storyline. And also South Carolina playing Clemson. And the story with that is this year they're finally playing 3 games each, and one of them's going to be at Clemson, one's going to be a neutral site game. So that'll be interesting. Keep an eye on the road teams of the SEC this weekend. That'll probably be the biggest story of all. So that's it for now. I'm going to quit rattling on. I hope you guys have a great college baseball week ahead. Tuesday, this is Tuesday. Already had some great games already. I was out at Pepperdine taking on UC Irvine. Irvine really struggling. Pepperdine looked good. Pepperdine goes to LSU this weekend. That's another great one to keep an eye on. And of course, going up to Malibu is never a bad thing to do when you want to see a good baseball game with a lot of great scenery. Nonetheless, that's it for now from the cave. Oh, and the music bed this week was provided by MGMT, Time to Pretend. Yeah, I know it's a little bit more mainstream to my liking, but yeah, it's a good tune. Keep reading, and thanks for doing so and send in more questions and comments. I appreciate it. See you later.